Welcome to Gryph0n vs SuperMAARusher, absolute extended spec on. So unfortunately a little bit behind life. Gryph0n is playing as the Malians on Zertao, SuperMAARusher as the Gujaras. So we'll have a camera matchup. And quick walls by SuperMAARusher. Sorry, I also got some other info. We shouldn't cast sets of Division Side Admin. That's question. It's a rank, but they played unranked, so I've got no clue what it is. It's probably RM. Only one will kill. A little bit of an odd chicken castle going up for SuperMAARusher with lots of eggy walls here. Now two will kills on the other side. Siege Ranger coming out. Camel SO. Can be pretty good against other camels. Important question in this matchup is also who gets the market. Harakiri, welcome. Sorry. It's a good army number for Gryph0n. 33 only for SuperMAARusher. Gryph0n could just patrol in and win here. Don't know why he's going back. Maybe it's not that easy to see that he has double the number of camels. He is waiting for trebuchets. Malians out popping on camels versus Gujaras is actually pretty impressive for Gryph0n. Adding in Gebetto doesn't do much here, I think. Siege Ranger could land some really nice shots. Landing a sweet shot in the middle of SuperMAARusher's Camel Mass. And just at least kill the castle or something. Gryph0n really waiting for the trebuchets. They are behind the Gebetto. That's why the traps aren't coming out, because he made the useless Gebetto. He would have just made traps without the Gebetto. I think SuperMAARusher might be dead already. Castle is being swamped by the Farimba camels. Farimba camels could also, in these numbers, easily jump the elephant archers. Gryph0n really scared of the castles of SuperMAARusher, and the numbers are getting closer and closer, because Gryph0n is just chilling. Gujaras is the favorite here because they should outproduce, but Gryph0n is currently outproducing SuperMAARusher, who wanted to go to Elephant Archer a bit too quickly. I think I like the Siege Ranger in the matchup though, so Siege Rangers can definitely turn this around as well. Here come the trebuchets. SuperMAARusher not as hesitant as Gryph0n, dives the trebuchet. Another trebuchet is firing. Camels are in the castle, and Gryph0n had double the army of SuperMAARusher, but unfortunately didn't use his advantage, was too scared of the castles, and has waited until SuperMAARusher, who has used the market, has now caught up. And now SuperMAARusher will have that market army on Gryph0n. That means SuperMAARusher is pulling ahead in military numbers. Man, the power of patrolling in simply would have won this for Gryph0n, but obviously easier to call from the outside. Who has the bigger army right now? He's still pressuring. He's killing the castle. This game could have ended in 5 minutes. But instead, at least Gryph0n with the middle position. Triple castle. Triple castle is home as well, so he's kind of spent all his castles in 2 positions. Quadruple castle now. Think that's too many castles on one screen. At least kind of half secures that hill. Has the Onager on top. Needs to try to shoot more of the green camels than the blue camels. But a lot of the blue camels are going down. A lot more of the green camels are coming out because SuperMAARusher took the market and quickly expanded onto the golds. So Gryph0n is killing a lot, but it's falling behind in population because position versus eco now, and market needs fast eco, but actually it didn't market that heavily. Gryph0n now marketing more, but price is already kind of ruined by his opponent. 7 trebuchets, also relatively costly. We've got 4 trebuchets kind of pushing from the southern side here. Interesting game number 1. 7 traps attacking from the top side. And castle is falling. SuperMAARusher is housed after he lost the castles. Not many elephant archers, so it's mainly camel versus camel. 32 camels versus 64. I think the Gojara camels are better. Oh, Gryph0n needs to use the SO shots. No production behind this. Has some more villagers on gold now, but just not the camel mass anymore. Citron just running without shooting, running to his own castles. Maybe they can save his position. Lots of idle villagers here. I think they were sent to repair the trebuchets. Fighting under the double castle. At least we'll get some shots for him. Siege Onager misses the shots. It's a bit of a... You need to be bold in these camel matchups once you've got an advantage, and Gryph0n was not bold enough. Now SuperMAARusher with the RM late game, kind of spreading out on the map, getting more and more army onto the field. And Gryph0n is falling behind in the numbers. Still relatively even game. No, I'm not muted. I'm just thinking about something else. SuperMAARusher now taking the middle hill. Has villagers on stone. Gryph0n lost quite a few castles. And trying to get his numbers back up. Camel numbers still advantage for SuperMAARusher. I think Gryph0n should wait to take these fights. He's kind of doing the thing where you trickle an army, you dance back and forth with it, and you lose your advantages because of that. He lost so many units there, not killing anything, just moving in and out of fights. That's why TDM is kind of about reasons and about decisions. And indecisiveness, one of the most costly things overall. And Gryph0n's going back and forth here is indecisiveness. That costs, he could have had an army of 60. But instead of having that army of 60, he's left with 18 because he moved them back in and out from the fights. Siege Onager in as well. This castle is also very questionable. It's a castle on lower elevation and cracked terrain. So that's gonna fall pretty easily. I don't like the fact that all of Gryph0n's castles are in 2 spots on the map and half of them on the lower ground. Zico is actually ahead now, 110 versus 92. But he's lost the middle map control. SuperMAARusher even getting relics now. The start was so much better for Gryph0n. He just needed to punish and move in. 46 villages were on this back goal for SuperMAARusher. Now going... Where? To repair a bombard cannon? They're builders. Okay, they're going to build this castle? Well, half the eco for SuperMAARusher is on the move. That means it's not taking resources. Worker efficiency last minute at 29.7%. That's the all idle villagers hotkey striking hard. Going for a Zhao castle, well, it's costing at least the economy, and they're going to potentially deny it castle because Gryph0n saw this, reacts to it, and raids the villagers, deletes the castle, makes it here now on a TC on a hill. It's at least a solid castle. It will go up with 31 villagers, of course. Gryph0n has a little bit more army again, sniping the trebuchets with the bombard cannon. Both have equally bad cannons, no siege engineers for any of the players. But the Elephant Archer numbers are growing, and in this later stage of the game with the Elephant Archers on the field, this will get harder and harder for the Malian civilization against the, of course, OP civilization of the Gujaras. Sorry guys. Doing some admin stuff. SuperMAARusher cleared all the space. It's looking very good for him now. Alright, looks like Gryph0n is ACCM. Game sound really quiet. Really? I didn't change anything. Can I get a second opinion? That says fine to him. Maybe it's just because I'm not talking. I don't know. Bit quiet, but not too bad. I mean, I can turn it up a little. Well, Legion liked it how it is. Too late. I turned it up now. Well, and there's the GG call. SuperMAARusher takes game win. Obviously, Civ Hacks picked the strongest civilization in the game. Gujaras OP. But if Gryph0n, decisive moment, kind of was around the 5-minute mark. First engagement and production going better for Gryph0n. After this first fight that Gryph0n wins, if he just keeps going with 82 as 33 army here, it's only 60 at the front, but if he brings these forward and patrols everything in, I think he wins. But that's one mistake. This other mistake is this castle queue is full of Gebetto instead of being full of trebuchets. If you have the trebuchets earlier, I think the trap push comes in time as well. But the better blocking the Q. That's another good shot, right? That's another opportunity. Great shot, patrol in. 2 castles don't really stop you. So that could have worked. Anyways, good micro and macro behind then after that. And SuperMAARusher profits of his kind of stronger Civ in this matchup and gets the win with the good Charas. Also called out the Mayan pick there. And so Mayan's dying to Gujaras. A bit unfortunate with draft position, as Mayan's maybe a bit early anyways. And Zertao goes to the player in the green. They are already in the next game. It is Fez, so which civilizations they should be on spec delay are we expecting on Fez? Berbers and Tatars come to mind for Gryph0n, but could try a siege civ as well, might work on this level. SuperMAARusher probably going Dravidians here. I suspect that I would be tempted to go for Berbers rather, but he needs something for Swamp. I think Gryph0n might play Berbers on Swamp. Or Malay. They seem to have fans these days. What's the scenes? I guess you could play in theory. But I think I'm saying Tatars Dravidians. Come on, let's see some flaming chemists. Tatars Dravidians. Let's go. It's perfect. Alright. Smart guy's happy with the sound now. And we can have Gamba as well. If Zaras or another mod wants to do it. Now we get Fate to download match content, but it should be spectatable. That's just DE. There we go. Vietnamese versus Berbers. Kind of another late civ, and honestly pretty good matchup for Vietnamese. Oh, and Gryph0n did go for the Berbers. Feels a bit like he's being caught out on the drafts here. Oh, slow down, go. SuperMAARusher with the Vietnamese. Might be too slow for the map though. I mean, we've seen Megas shut them down, but Megas at least get habitiers. While Berbers don't. If it was Tatars, he could have at least made flaming camels. But there is 4 siege workshop and only 3 barracks into actually playing Rex with the Berbers. He's a bit unknown player versus Xardas. At least he's not opening with the Rex. Can still try to rush here. Habitiers defend the opening Hussar very well though. Vietnamese also very armor pick, but not a bad matchup against the Berbers because red archers are kind of a decent. What? Oh wait, oh wait, I forgot. There is different ways to play Vietnamese than elephants and red archers. Those different ways are a lot worse against Berbers, because if it's Halberdier Cav Archer, then the Berbers are completely fine versus the Vietnamese. The ranges are. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Vietnamese CA in DM generally. And especially if you're playing against Berbers, this is like, here's my Civ win. Let's throw it in the garbage bin. To make a unit that the opponent's civilization is perfect against, instead of a unit that the opponent's civilization cannot counter. Might also make some Ratans. No, he's not. He has 2 units that are hard to counter for Berbers. What do we decide for? The unit that Berbers are amazing at countering. Oh, SuperMAARusher is an RMer still. So, see if Gryph0n can punish that. Legion says, oh no, he has realized the mistake of his teammates seeing those ranges. Gryph0n getting very forward map control here already. Imagine there were elephants on the field and Gryph0n had to be afraid of them. Or imagine there were Rattan archers massing that could push back every unit of the Berbers. But no, we're seeing Cav archers. Camel archers are coming out SuperMAARusher, the most interested person in the stone on Fez I've seen this season. A castle on the stone side. Spending stone to get stone. Most people just add TCs there. Or even mining camps. And half of the people, even on high level, just completely ignore the stone in its entirety. Which I also think is a mistake. But I think TC is the good middle ground there. Stopping this forward castle was very daring without army support. Gryph0n has added the Scorpions, fully expecting an elephant play, but no! It is Imperial Skirmishers! Oh boy, I think Legion, you need to teach your teammate how to play Vietnamese in Deathmatch. Because he's playing RM Vietnamese. I mean, I'm kind of surprised though with what he's doing, right? With the Cav Archers and Skirms. I'm surprised that we're not seeing Fire Lancers, because that's the third like RM Vietnamese unit. It's the most valuable one in DM as well. Cav Archers are out now. Okay, here come the elephants. SuperMAARusher has noticed that might be a good unit, as some of the Scorpions die. I feel like this is very loud now, no? Doesn't the game sound too loud now? Played so well with the Alien Switch versus me. Yeah, you all like it like that, and I'll keep it like that. One does not simply stop making Vietnamese CA. It's very easy to stop once we've never started on the Huns. I don't play Arabia, why would I play Vietnamese CA? And in DM, that never was a strategy. Yeah, there were worse before as well. Before the whole switch around with Parthian. And yeah, Scorpions are at least helpful against the elephants that are mixed in now. It's not that many, it's 12. The LA switch that the Legion called. Gryph0n with decent map control with the castle up south here, but gold is able to be taken for SuperMAARusher. Nobody really developing any wood eco. That will come to bite both of them soon, that the wood side of the map is bare and naked. Gryph0n has more in the bank. His castle is getting pushed back. Scorpion's kind of solid against all the units besides the siege of the Vietnamese. We have 2 onagers and no bombard cannons out. Now it's skirmishers entering the field, which will actually kind of work because Gryph0n's out of cavalry, isn't making any hussar. And yes, Berbers are one of the exceptions. They want to make hussar before food eco. Because they're mainly making, they're almost exclusively spending their other res on wood and gold. And if you have a civ that only does wood and gold, besides the hussar, then it's okay to make hussar before farms. And Berbers kind of want to do that most of the time in order not to overspend on camels and use their stables. Now it's only the camel archers, so we're getting pushed back quite a bit. On what, in DM? Yeah, well, versus in random civ ranked Savannah, DM versus Armenians, you can pretty much make anything and win because Armenians are absolute dog shit on land maps. Yeah, Vacha's army is actually progressing here. Now the hussar have been queued by Gryph0n. Skirmishers are attacking him. Trebuchet is caught out by Gryph0n nicely. That castle's fallen for Gryph0n though. SuperMAARusher. Oh, feels just like the stronger player in the mid game. I think Gryph0n needs to play more aggressive maps that are more about the start and probably win by his better starts here. Fez was, I hope not Gryph0n's home map. No, it was SuperMAARusher's home map. But Akrai might also be a bit too armor friendly. I would have picked like, I should have told Gryph0n that before. I think you should have picked like Teres and Zertao or something. I mean, Zertao was game 1 anyway, so that was fine. Terrace and even Watershed maybe. But SuperMAARusher gets to pop, he feels very very comfortable, even while making skirmishers. Kind of has the full left to right control here. Even made a market there as if he could trade. Maybe with this unbuilt siege workshop. Still playing team game. Camel Atramars obviously a strength, but Gryph0n doesn't have any siege or any resource for siege, and kind of not really a unit to counter the ranged units at the moment. As his Hussar are... Well, in production he only has 3 stables. Random trebuchet from the north, killing his base as well, and there's a CA raid. Yeah, I think Fez is just too much of an RMR map at a certain stage. You can't rush, and then... Like, at least in Division 7, DMers will have a hard time, because the RMers are very high elo in this division, and the DMers are experienced in DM, but not really that experienced in late game. So it's a smart home map pick by SuperMAARusher. On Fez, everything seems to work. Fez has rules, but I only recently understood them. Keller explained it to me how it works. I know how Fez works now. It only took me 1.5 seasons to ask Keller how the map works. I won't say how it works, but I know how it works now. And I also know why I lost it the last time, because I didn't play the map how it works. But I will not publicly say how it works. It's fast, so we have time for Sledge, but some people say it needs mobility. Time for Siege, but some people say it needs mobility. It needs mobility. It also needs a food and wood eco. And that's what Gryph0n doesn't have, or unfortunately, Gryph0n doesn't have any eco. You might reach the end of his streak this season. Legion and SuperMAARusher might be too much in the bracket. Whole map is green. Whole map is green. Even though the whole map is kind of yellow. GG called. Vietnamese, pretty good surf here. Even with the odd plays, now we've got the elephants. Gryph0n never really got a meat shield in front of his army, and I think he played this too fast. He played this super aggressively with all these forward castles, kind of too much all in. Berbers can play this slow and grind out the Vietnamese, especially with the kind of start that SuperMAARusher did. And Gryph0n tried to end it too quickly, but then it's hard. You want to end it quickly because you're playing versus the 2k3 RMR, you know, so it's tough. The Imskirm, I didn't fire a single shot the game. The elephants and Cavalry just kind of won it because Gryph0n couldn't get close anywhere. So unfortunately, even though SuperMAARusher made Imskirms, it wasn't a throw potential regardless. Do we have no spec again? No, it's just locked. DM1v1 Deathmatch, ranked 120 seconds. Okay, it's fine. That lock is just confusing me. It looked like it was back off again. Where's Maxi when CA win the game? Probably in one of his own sets. I don't know. There's so much going on today. I picked 4 sets. That should be enough. It's supposed to be more casters. I don't think anyone is casting the parallel ones though. Later, the Greek will cast the other ones at parallel. The other admins are very quick with the question they asked. Very long past the decision. Berbers go down to the Vietnamese. SuperMAARusher secures his home map of Fez. Gryph0n still has his own home maps. To win the set would need to win one of the others though. And he's going to his own home map now. Going to Akarai. And SuperMAARusher, Khmer or Bohemians seem to be the options here to me. I don't think you ever want to play Hans on Akarai. Feels like foregoing the bonus. with the houses, and your unique unit isn't that strong. And Dravidians are a bit too slow for the map. So Khmer can be strong here, but Khmer need to be afraid of both Sicilians and Bulgarians. And Bohemians is a counter pick, so I'm expecting Bohemians for SuperMAARusher. And Gryph0n is probably still gonna go Sicilians. That feels like a Gryph0n Civ to play on it. Let's go. Burmese was unfortunately not picked on a player, they weren't even banned. I'm not believing in your Burmese. It is Bohemians, Bulgarians. Okay. Bulgarians I think are a bit better than Sicilians against Bohemians, so I think that makes sense as a pick for Gryph0n. Suspecting the Bohemian pick. Will everybody get their castles? Looks like the players know. We're in week 2, so won't see that as many of the 3 versus 1 castle games anymore. SuperMAARusher, bit late. Could have sent a cheeky scout forward maybe, but nobody seems to do that. Everybody seems to just agree to get their own castles. Unless you're really desperate, I guess. 4 barracks start for the Bohemians, and we do have a barracks. No, we do have lots of barracks for the Bulgarians. Some cripples, but to the back of the base. I like to see some workshops. You can just start workshop conic here. You don't need racks, really. On the other side, you probably do need racks and, like, I guess hand cannons for the foot version. SuperMAARusher a bit slower, not doing the petard thing. Gryph0n faster out with the units, therefore going forward with the conics. Should target the villagers, not the Havadius. Is idling some villagers, stopping this castle for now. That's already solid damage. Now the foot conic version can start dealing with the Havadius. And the mounted ones can stop rushing more. No will kill yet. Castle Wills not targeted. Retreating, even the foot conics. The foot conics were doing a fine fight. Let's go SMR. Oi oi oi. Traitors. Maybe I should offer Ganji a Valhalla membership now. Yeah, I mean Ganji X. I can root for him when I cast Mojito. But Mojito can't even hear me. Docks for Gryph0n. Okay, some demos can't hurt. Lots of wagons and hand cannoneers. So maybe the infantry was kind of baiting into that so the conics can have a field day. Are the conics having a field day though? Killing some of the wagons. Bohemians supposedly strong on the map, more than actually, at least if we judge by the early set where Britons were even able to perform against them. Dogs denied for SuperMAARusher means first will kill, but I feel like Gryph0n is a bit in that spot again where he goes back and forth with his army while losing half of it. Which was one crucial mistake in game 1 already. Yeah, very indecisive with the conics. The conics are just... You can't have them run here, bro. They're getting shot at. The opponent has ballistics, you know? You either commit or you stay outside their range. Okay, now going in with the siege onagers. This could be a good fight, though. Was kind of waiting for them. Siege onagers trying to shoot the Haufnitze. Do kill the Haufnitze. 1 Haufnitze on the field only. Do we have any castle killing siege for Gryph0n? Trebuchets not on the field yet in production. Always a bit awkward because you need you don't need castles. You already have castles for trebuchets. Never mind. In this map you don't even need to wait for that cannon galleon there. Isn't the strongest cannon galleons. Bulgarians not exactly a navy civ. Lots of wagons going down. Middle position, well, a bit fortified by Gryph0n, but because he has dogs, basically, but Bohemians don't really care about that. Nice shots on the hand cannoneers, though. SuperMAARusher out of gold, but it's 19 Haufnitze in queue, so is he really out of gold? And Gryph0n is actually out of gold. Nothing in the queue and 0 gold, so no 19 Haufnitze. If SuperMAARusher forgets the Haufnitze in queue, doesn't have any units to protect them, then it's pretty easy to take them apart. Good fights for Gryph0n, killing lots of the wagons now, still diving under castles, can't really replace the conics. Not sure he wants to stay there that long. Yeah, you're killing stuff, but you don't have the eco or resource to replace your army, Gryph0n. SuperMAARusher getting the market once more. Very market-happy player. That seems to be working out for him, but eco development behind this. Gryph0n at least has 32 villagers to the 16. Top castle monastery strategy by SuperMAARusher, if you want to call it one. Trebuchet is now working on the castle. Haufnitzer out though. Haufnitzer need to fire on the Onager still. Onager could maybe get a shot. Onager does not get a shot. Onager's from the other side trying to fire at the Siege Onager. Siege Onager being microed. Codex retreat. Castle is down. Calling it success for Gryph0n, but instantly replaced by SuperMAARusher. Castle's going up around the shoreline. Not going for crab posts, maybe because they're too vulnerable to the Haufnitzer. But once again, Gryph0n's a little bit tendency to make castles in the same spot. When I think spreading them out is usually better. Dogs falling now to the Haufnitzer shots. Gryph0n has a stronger economy, maybe can mass up another army that can get a clear up. Right now the cheaper army for the Bohemians is still on the field, and so many Haufnitzer. 11 on the field, 9 more in the queue. Where's Agent P to go cast when I need him? Yeah, he didn't message me today. I mean, it wasn't the calendar that I announced it. Ein Haufnitzer. This is looking scary for Gryph0n. But he has an army again. SuperMAARusher now getting some eco 3 TCs on wood and the much used market. Still feels a little bit like a naked base though. And Gryph0n's as well, to be honest. There's also not much here, it's just a lot of villages and gold. Gryph0n is getting northern control, castle and crab post here. And he is firing at the monastery. Relics are out for SuperMAARusher now jumping. The Haufnitzer gets stuck between the Cavaliers and the Conics. Let's go! What, the Cavaliers get in the middle and the Conics get out. So actually the Haufnitzer survived, managed to squeeze past the Cavaliers. Castle falls for Gryph0n. And it's just Conic the rest response here. I think Conic with Siege behind worked better, no? Siege workshops are all at the front and a little bit exposed. Conics are diving, the cavalry gets taken out by the halberdiers. The dismounted ones are still there. We're trying to chase the Haufnitzer. But Gryph0n doesn't really have the army anymore to fight this, and SuperMAARusher is microing down the Bohemian army. Oh boy, this is not looking great for the Valhalla player. And it's SO for sure. Yeah, he's making some now, but SO together with the military mass of like Conic and maybe even some 200 would be better. The SO getting kind of sniped one by one as they come out. Really nice micro by SuperMAARusher to attack ground in front of them. Gryph0n does have the eco. SuperMAARusher now getting out of resources. Gryph0n is out of resources as well though, and not taking the best fights. A bit too impatient. Yeah, you can give up the cold front if you're based on Akerai, that's fine. If you have a bit more developed back eco, I guess. And then just mess somewhere like here. I don't know, I did it there with Strike Muffin. Can do it here as well. But that's like a bit easier to see your army. And then once you really have enough and you're 200 pop, you go for a clear up. You might get a little clear up here, as SuperMAARusher is running out of trash resources pretty badly. And Fudiko is looking better for Gryph0n, so SuperMAARusher actually not really beaten back by Gryph0n, but more his supply lines got too long. So his soldiers are starving and need to return home. In the north, stalemate. Relics just sitting in the middle. Gryph0n kind of cutting off SuperMAARusher from the relics with the castle, but the siege was cleared. Now some ships by the Bohemians. It's a close game 3. Now eco his army a little bit. Army isn't that impressive for SuperMAARusher either, so Gryph0n coming back a little bit after it looked dicey a few minutes ago. Basically on the back of his more developed economy. SuperMAARusher also the green color. And it must be connected to the green color. Players in green don't like to reach 80 villages. To be fair, SuperMAARusher doesn't have the food. Well, yes, 13 head candies in queue. I think those should be villages. Gryph0n buys wood for more farms. Or for another siege onager. And is kind of in control now. This is the time where you want to think about raiding, I think, already on this map. Gryph0n could send some Hussar raids out if you make some stables. Yes, units are top here. You can make top stables and raid from here. It's actually fully open. There's nothing here. All the castles are at the front for Legion. This castle doesn't reach much. And you can just run into all the eco here. This would be a beautiful opportunity to raid for Gryph0n if he would think about it. But I think thinking about all the raids, not sure that starts in Division 7 already. Iki needs to be let out. From where? From this castle? Are you locked in there? Are you a classical princess trope? The stream? After a 5-stream streak? Come on! That's not enough to make that joke. You need at least 25 for that. Then we can think about it. Electraze, what's your streak at the moment? So my candidate for the longest one. Keller has long ones at times as well. Uh-oh, their Staffnitz are going down. That's always a problem for a Bohemian. Not with the gold bank of SuperMAARusher as much, but still a decent moment for Gryph0n. Two of them, now they're walking at the speed of a foot conic while the hand cannons are shooting. 19 at them. See? That's Bacterzell numbers, Kiki. Get it 20 once? Okay, okay. But that someone did let you out, I guess. Do we see Bohemian Light Cav? Well, that means at least SuperMAARusher is thinking about raiding. What I wanted Gryph0n to do. Who is making forward stables and siege workshops? Okay, I guess it's for sieging. There's nothing to siege. You can just raid this. Does he know that? Does he know how the base looks like? You should always send something to know how the base structure of your opponent looks like. And see if you could raid them. That's generally very helpful. Just to send one random unit around the back of your opponent's base or something. Just to find out where they're raidable. That's really important info. It's a bit advanced stuff, but we're already in Division 7, so I feel like it could be mentioned. Gryph0n has stabilized the game. I don't like the front farming at all. Should be all here and secured with more crepos. Both don't really have any stone. They're taking all the golds around the map, but not the stones in the middle. Even in the areas where they have control. Like SuperMAARusher taking long distancing gold here, but not taking the stone. Gryph0n long distancing gold here and here, not taking the stone. Well, we're just even going. SuperMAARusher a bit pushing this forward base back. And we do have navy engagements even now. This castle fell. Still nobody has the relics. What gold does Gryph0n have left on the map? Well, that's 2k here. Depends on who gets that. That's another 2k. That's another 1k6. That's another 500. He's taking this right now, which is 1200. And this is like not much. Relics are kind of up for grabs if he would aim the trebuchet though. SuperMAARusher is making the monks though. And Hussar an option for the Bulgarians. Well, it is Bohemian Light Cav as just mentioned on the other side. SuperMAARusher taking his time, taking out the docks. How much time do we have? 45 minutes left for the next 3 games. It could have been a bit faster if they had spec on. If it finishes this gold. Finishes this gold. SuperMAARusher with 6k gold bank, Bohemian privilege. Everything is cheap and most things stay alive very long. If microed right. Or very hard to kill for the opponent. This gold could be also taken by SuperMAARusher. What are the market prices? Food prices still okay. 60 on food for Gryph0n, so you could start selling. And cannons walk out very far out. Someone screamed on the outside of my house exactly while the Honor shot hit, so I was distracted. But, not shot for Gryph0n. Monks! Ha! You're converting! Food monks! I thought they were for the relics, but the relics are still untouched. I don't know what that trebuchet is looking at. What do you want from the wood line? Trap the castle! The whole relic situation on this 1v1 is very confusing. It's a lot of conics, but they never seem to do anything decisive and just like SuperMAARusher is just wearing them down. One had 60 villagers for Gryph0n. It's also kind of why he can't take good fights, but he's not even Bobcat. It was a more even game, but sure what you do from this point on against Bohemians with that much gold. And I guess that much food for monks. Well, if Gryph0n would get the relics, I think he could be fine, but they seem to like very half-assed this. Now SuperMAARusher has sent a monk forward. And should have a monastery at home, because that monk... Well... a monastery a bit closer to home? But if he gets the relics into a secure position, it would be GG for sure. There, they could still be stolen, but... doesn't look like Gryph0n is thinking much about relics. I think if he gets the relics into his base, then it's over. Zico is still not that great, 99 only. It's not full pop. But Gryph0n is just dancing back and forth with his conics. And it's just like... feels a bit autopilot and no... Gryph0n is lacking reasons. The whole reasons point. Gryph0n isn't doing things for a reason. Like this trade card that isn't done for a reason. Okay, that's a misclick, that's fine. But I overall don't really feel like there's a plan for Gryph0n. It's just like making some conics, clicking the conics there, clicking the conics here. They're like walking back and forth. Thinking maybe if I snipe the Aufnütze. But that's all the thinking there is, really. Not Susar. That's at least a unit he can spam, so I like that much more. But you shouldn't waste your last conics. And if wasting his last conics on the ships. The monks. It's just SuperMAARusher having to flex his RM micro things. But monks go down. And yeah, this fight also doesn't really serve a purpose. It just buys time. There's no siege behind it, so he can't really kill the castle. The trebuchet is still the useless trap up north? No, it's a new trap that's drilling. And SuperMAARusher has gotten the relics, but I'm fully ready to see them in here. At least he chose the back of the 2 monasteries. I guess we have to be happy with that. For TC to take the gold. Gryph0n, raid! Raid with the Hussar, raid! Don't dance, raid! At this stage, Bulgarians can simply win the game with raiding. Zardas showed it earlier against unknown player. He got one time in an eco that looked pretty much like this eco. And it was GG. This is 70 villagers without a single... 77 villagers, not protected by a single castle. If 50 Hussar get in here, the SuperMAARusher's whole eco is idle, and if you do that 4 or 5 times, then he's GG. But the Hussar are fighting Helvetiers. People keep... There's an old Xavier tanker saying, people keep trying to counter Helvetiers with Hussar. And even though they know it's not working, they will keep doing it again and again and again. The farm count could even sell for two-handed. I mean, I guess then there's the hand cannons. But the solution here, the only solution for Gryph0n that I see left is raiding. And it's not a solution that has occurred to the man. Okay, can we ban Legion? I think that's misinformation. That's not allowed on the channel. Trio for SuperMAARusher. Because Gryph0n didn't make skirms apparently. It didn't raid. Okay, Kiki, you can unban him. Or untimeout him. 955 kills to 658 losses in favor of SuperMAARusher's Bohemians. Welcome back, Legion of Skirmishers. 74k for Gryph0n. I come to stream, I see banned for Skirm Call, I'm happy. See? That's how I secure the majority of my viewership, Legion. Sometimes it has to be over the back of your misinformation. But hey, you might win a contest in the USA for misinformation. That was really bad and shouldn't have been said. I should be banned for that, but unfortunately I'm the streamer and I can't ban myself. So, 3-0 in favor of the SuperMAARusher. I mean, it says he is super in the name. I'll just force pick Turks from now on to be safe. That's a good strategy. Then you make Turk skirmishes, right? If we ever meet in a tournament, you know which units you have to make against me. Bohemians! And do it at least once today. And beat the Bulgarians on Akarai! Gryph0n loses his home map. Savannah and Golden Swamp, the two maps that are left. If you beat in an RM tournament, Legion, it's the only unit you're allowed to make all set, unupgraded skirmishes. You'd probably still win, so maybe I don't want you to do that. We're going to Golden Swamp. Well, I guess it's melee or Sicilians. So it wasn't Berbers and SuperMAARusher. Might go Dravidians? I think you might believe in the Dravidian Lucky Charms take. Saying Dravidians melee. Let's see some Phantos in game number 4. Comes in monks? No. Monks are OP. You're not allowed to make monks. I'm allowed to make monks. And you're allowed to make unupgraded skirmishers. 1 minute, I will run. I called it right. Oh, perfect timing. before I noticed that my water glass is empty, but I have water on the map. We have a golden swamp Gryph0n's home map. SuperMAARusher going for Dravidians, and I really hope they sink to the melee, because as weird as the popularity of melee this season might be, Dravidians need to keep their abysmal win rate, which, since there's no statistic, I can just make up. SuperMAARusher, quick walling, but villager fighting, the scout is not really a thing here. Well, but is a thing apparently. Halberdier with wood steel comes out in time. Melee can't really rush, so not the perfect civ to punish the Dravidians. So we're going to cast Falafel with Lucky. Well, I'm obviously not, because I'm casting this set. The rest is... you're the host. You have access to everything, Zardas. I didn't see anybody that was casting it. We have some galleons to start out with. Not Carrax. The standard seems to be Carrax. It's Carrax into now a fire switch. Maybe the galleons try to catch that out. It's a lot of elephants on the swamp for Gryph0n against Halberdiers by SuperMAARusher. Melee don't have heavy demo. It's a little bit of a weakness against Halberdiers. Let's see how this goes. No Carrax at all. The fires will probably do good here. Also, they have siphons, right? The Radiants have full water trajectory, so yeah, they do have siphons. Gamba is up, 4-4. Elephants retreating to the land. Do they want that? They want to fight the ships more than the Halberdiers here, I think. Gryph0n trying for the middle castle. SuperMAARusher also trying for the middle castle. Something we learned Keller doesn't like. But this is a kind of a rectangular middle, so it's at least a little bit safer than on the smaller ones. Still can be reached by cannon gains. Nobody actually has them out. The Rishadai now in the queue. That would have been so easy against the galleon opening, right? But he's making fires first. Gryph0n is still making only galleons. No demos and no Carrax. Just galleon elephant. I don't know. I think you need to be a bit adaptive here. And now DQ some units as well. The Carrax are probably behind everything. At least the melee harbors are helping out. They are surprisingly good now, even though they only have 3 attack. But ships have way less armor now. So ships die to arrows a lot better, making harbors kind of a lot more worthwhile than they were. As the castles are being trapped in this instance. SuperMAARusher's castle was stopped. Gryph0n's will go up and probably down. Trebuchet, one Trebuchet is firing at the harbors though, so maybe the castle can kill that Trebuchet. The Galleon Mars is kind of having a nice position to shoot at the fire ships because the Halberdier meat shield keeps holding the fires back, so SuperMAARusher's fire's not really that way microed, and they're taking not the best fight. Castle falls even before it goes up though. Or gets deleted. Another castle at 100 HP is not getting constructed because he's building a dock instead. Oh boy. Oh boy, one shot of anything and that is dead. The Rishadai now out against a full galleon fleet. Well, Dravidians, especially on Swamp, they might be 2-0 up soon because I like the Rishadai here. And Gryph0n doesn't really have units against Rishadai. Went pure galleon against Dravidians. That feels a little risky. And it's a big army on the water and big units. The big Rishadai and the big elephant archers that are out for SuperMAARusher. Demos driving onto the fast fire ships. 100 HP castle was being built, but too slowly. Trebuchets killed that as well. Eco is a lot stronger for Gryph0n. We've seen this before, but in the last game. But SuperMAARusher's army traits tend to be better. The over-gallioning isn't helping versus the Tirishadai. Oh, that command should be adapted. It's obviously $900 by now, or $901. Gryph0n getting surrounded. Tirishadai from the other side. No demos against them. No fires against them. You need fires against Tirishadai. Gryph0n's wood eco not really there. Farming already. I don't know if we need to farm. We have the elephants somewhere. The elephants are stuck in the vase behind the boats. Yeah, they're Malay elephants. Their armor isn't the greatest, so they melt to these amounts of arrows of 36 Tirishadai. And luckily Falafel is Lucky Comes is playing, so he cannot see this game. That's our only blessing. Castles at the back as well aren't even really helping, right? Against the Navy. Should I have broken on this map? If you can get to it, right? You could rush against Ravilians. Not really with melee though. So there's the thing, and unfortunately from Valhalla perspective, it's 4-0 for the OP members of Team, or the OP member of Team India. That's not a foregone conclusion now how Legion will play the other guys in his division. 416 to 269. Yeah, Thinkful Galleon wasn't the play. It's such a big shippy. I hate it with passion, because you can look at this ship and clearly it's not supposed to be this big. You can see this thing, you know, transfer it to this ship, and I guess, but everything is bigger on this. That house, that thing, I don't know. It feels so out of scale compared to a galleon, because a galleon is clearly a bigger ship than this ship, with these woods there and everything. So it's not a big ship, it's just completely out of scale. I mean, it's kind of cool because we so seldomly saw it in our L2 before, but still hate the unit model. 4-0 for SMR. Dravidians take a very sad victory over the last picked Malay. It's broken since it never existed? You mean like the Hulk? I think there was some parts of the Hulk that did exist. Let's not get stuck up onto details. The players already moved on to Savannah. We've got Hans, so well, it's kind of tricky for Gryph0n, right? Against Hans you want Tatars, and against Khmer you want Sicilians. So I guess to be safe, Sicilians should also be fine with Hans. So I guess you go Sicilians and then you go Hans, right? So I would say Hans Sicilians on the last map here. I'll hope the Huns fail. I want Gryph0n to get at least one win in his first set. Winning the diff will be hard after today, but he had a good run so far. It is Hans Tatars, alright. He does recognize the Hun pick and goes. Otter. How long is this spec delay? Oh, never mind, they started 45 seconds ago. I looked at another Savannah game between Harakiri and Xuma. Oh, Xuma is playing again. Been a while since Xuma played DM. I remember playing against him. Well, Hans Tatars, a classic of Hans can win it early. After that, Tatars should dominate. Basically a classic Hun matchup against an RCA Civ. But with the population advantage at the start, Hans, as the chat says, or the chatter says. Well, the chatter says Hans Bock, but it's kind of close. Oh, now I'm streaming it, of course, there's 10 million admin decisions. Is Gryph0n bad? Are you bad? You also lost today on a player. Maybe SuperMAARusher is good, you know? Stable into Rex. Okay, I mean, why not? Yeah. That has it camels, right? Bit defensive over Hanna opening, but I guess makes sense given the Civ matchup, so I don't disagree with it. 6 stables, 5 archery ranges for Gryph0n here in game number 5. You're all bad. This Division 7, they're not as bad. Villager goes down for Gryph0n. He might have a bad day though. I think that is more fair to say. Some mistakes were made. Rethinking the build order to a castle for SuperMAARusher. Always listen to the snuffles. Well, that might be bad. He is good. Here's Tom Snuffles. I think he's beyond good or bad. Camels are out. There's paladins on the field, so camels make sense. Oh, might get a will kill here. Might even get 2. No, now fighting a paladin, but 1-1 equal KD. SuperMAARusher kind of missing the base. I think he was trying to rush a position here, so doing a little bit of a nade spike. And villagers run away when villager gets caught off by the Paladinos. Gryph0n, hero Gryph0n blocks the way to the other villager. Quick wall not even needed. And the Huns have relatively similar army to the Tatars. That's good for the Tatars, but Gryph0n is housed. That's bad for the Tatars and will change that fact very swiftly. His Huns' biggest advantage is, of course, they cannot get housed. And they don't need to invest villager time to prevent it. Gamba is up for game 5. So let's see. I think I have some hopes for Gryph0n here if he makes a house. If he makes a house, he will finish the castle. That should do a job as well. Gryph0n numbers not too high for him. It's SuperMAARusher's army running a bit all over the place. He really wants to keep rushing. Our castle is up, but the paladins might still get the villager. Doesn't need many hits there. Castle won't shoot that in time. Yeah, gets another will. 4 will kills for the Huns. Gryph0n moving out very fast against the Huns. That tends to be a mistake. You want to defend the Huns under your own castle first. Also, what's usually very important for against Huns is siege workshops. His castle might be replaced with one. Well, it just got deleted in favor of nothing else. Siege workshops are denied. Maybe Gryph0n isn't in it with the heart anymore. That castle is too far forward against Huns. And will therefore be stopped. Only 1 castle up. Production queue is there, but houses are not there. Villagers are falling. 9 vehicles for SuperMAARusher's Huns. And Gryph0n is too far out on the map with this lower civilization. The Halberdiers are just rushing under it. At least 2nd castle up for Gryph0n. Can get some more production up now. But the units aren't really fighting. The units are mainly running. Well, way too forward castle, way too early results in it not going up. Oh, yeah, Clash was blaming himself. I mean, sometimes it went up. It went up in the game against Franks, Gardos, because your rush was so good there, but Gryph0n's rush wasn't that strong. So, against Hans, he can't afford it. He's moving out. Army a little bit out of position here, actually, for SuperMAARusher. Doesn't have that much army forward, so Gryph0n taking an okay fight, clearing the trebuchets. Can now retreat under his own castles. 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 Can now retreat, but still shouldn't fight the Halberdiers under his own castles. I would love to see some onagers as well. One Siege Workshop is up. He's out of gold already. We do not have a market. Gryph0n is very market averse, and in these situations you do tend to need it. He has a decent army out. Army actually more higher for Gryph0n. 51 CA to only 18. Okay, might be able to hold this. Obviously, eco a lot more alive for SuperMAARusher. Pressuring hard, trying to go for these way too forward castles that don't go up. Now, SuperMAARusher has a lot of villagers, but the units are blocking it, so that's effectively idle builds. One goes back, the other ones start building it. The army trades are good for Gryph0n. Gryph0n can clear this maybe. Gryph0n can then stop the castle. He's sending some of his units around to stop the castle, kill the villagers, and then kill the army. Will he have enough left to kill the army? Skirmishers! Timing out. Villagers have all been sniped. Rams are a bit of an issue. We don't have any onagers out for Gryph0n. The ram numbers are low enough though that the Cavachers should be able to deal with it. Castle is denied. KD massively in favor of the Tatars. Just needs to keep his units shooting. Don't micro against two skirmishers, Gryph0n. Fucking hell, just take the fight. Hands are getting more units out. Now more villagers streaming forward to that castle. And now it will go up. The resources are a little bit of a problem. SuperMAARusher fully invested everything though with marketing. Both are kind of marketed intertwined. Even selling stone. SuperMAARusher going fully all in here onto this one push. Has sold all his resources. Some resources are left for eco, but not time. He assigns the micro for Gryph0n, so he isn't really developing his economy, even though he has resources. Some Timurid Siege Trebuchets now queued very late. Still 0 onagers. We do need onagers against the Huns. They can't do much versus onagers. What's in the queue? Camels and Hussar. And the Cavachers aren't really fighting. First Trebuchet in this trap fight at least out for Gryph0n. Where are the Trebuchets for SuperMAARusher? Coming from the base. 2 on the way. Gryph0n has 3 trebuchets. Maybe he pushes back the castle. Eco will still be advantage for SuperMAARusher, whose ATCs a little bit earlier collected relics as well with the Huns. At least his own relics will work fully. Opponents of the Huns obviously have their relics reduced by atheism. Huns simply don't believe in it, and that makes it go away. At least half of it go away. It's not a great fight. Lots of army for SuperMAARusher. And Onager finally out. Can the Onager aim at the Rams before it dies? It cannot. No further Onagers, and this is a very trash heavy army. It's a desperate last resource army for the Huns, but it is overpowering the Tatars at last, and unfortunately for when I finally get to cast one Gryph0n set, I think it didn't even manage to cast one last season, or maybe one, but managed to catch his first one this time. Unfortunately, it's against Team India players, and they practice way too much. So SuperMAARusher being rewarded for that practice will take a 5-0 sweep here. Need more flaming camels. Clearly the solution. Ping. Oh, that's that whole situation. Well, I'll have to look at that after the stream. How much? Oh, I have 50 minutes to the next set. Maybe I can do some admin stuff in between. This is dying. I'm sorry, Gryph0n. It wasn't your day. I'm sure Gryph0n will have better matches this season as well. In the future. There's obviously more games to be played for him. SuperMAARusher proved to be very strong. Edged it out, was relatively close. Gryph0n took some good fights here with the Tatars. Definitely had chances to win game 1. And held the Bohemians pretty well on Akurei as well. But SuperMAARusher pushing through, getting 6 big and fat points for the division standings. And with that high of a prize pool, even the prizes for the lower divisions are quite significant. Not sure what else to add, to be honest. Gryph0n's playing on, and I think I will speed this up. If I can, I can't. I'm live. Next set, though, will be a banger. Oh, it's kind of a super decisive set for who manages to stay and who manages to have chances for playoffs. Kind of on that watershed with where both players can go between Zayu versus Twappy. Definitely make sure you stay tuned with that. Big important set for how Division 1A turns out. As Gryph0n calls the GG, SuperMAARusher rushes towards Division 6 with a Hanik victory. Also upside night out, we can do a cast request in the next 12 minutes until the next set. Was it a competitive 5-0? I mean, there were competitive games in it. Hans beat the Tatars. Congratulations to SuperMAARusher, Team India's Poggerino. But now every div winner gets $18. I think we're gonna like... We always did like a curve though, right, Xardas? Oh, and I don't know if you know that. You weren't there last time. So the higher the division, the like more the percentage. We just never really decided that at the start of the season. So div winners get on average $18. I think that's what we should say. Because like div 2 is obviously... It's a lot harder to win div 2 than it is to win div 16.